Is Tesla still riskier than Bitcoin given all the Bitcoin treasuries? Can you do a quick updated face-off? So this is very interesting and very important to talk about, because when investing, and we're going to talk about this a lot today, you have to balance risk and reward. So there's always going to be maybe something that's a little bit faster, but the question is, what is the sure thing and how safe is it, and what is the return? And that's what I always benchmark. Kind of like think of an expected value calculation as we go forward. So let's jump into some numbers and see what we got for Sato. First of all, I'm going to turn myself off so you can see this. This is the Bitcoin year-to-date flows. What I did was I calculated all of the flows into Bitcoin treasuries. By the way, there isn't a day that goes by now where another company anywhere on the planet announces Bitcoin treasuries. It's out of control. Everybody's doing it. Pretty much every enterprise that has some loose cash in the balance sheet or needs to improve their stock performance, they are buying Bitcoin or Solana, mostly Bitcoin. And that is crazy. Treasuries was on my bingo card in 2024 that it would be huge, but I did not quite think it would be quite this huge. And here are some of the numbers that actually support that. First of all, if you look at this chart, let me blow it up so I can see it a little better. Year to date, I didn't even go back to last year, but year to date, Bitcoin treasury companies have purchased 177,000 Bitcoin. The ETFs have snagged 111,000 Bitcoin, and miners have actually purchased 20,000 Bitcoin as well. And the Bitcoin mined is only 61,000. So we have 250,000 Bitcoin deficit from just these cohorts. And I'm not even talking about sovereign wealth funds or other players that could be snagging some as well. This is so important. So let's look at another view of this, because the other question is, what's happening? Is this accelerating, or is it business as usual? So I calculated the flows by quarter so far, and I know Q2 is not over yet. It's halfway through, but look at this. The Q1 purchase rate of Bitcoin is 1,616 Bitcoin per day for just those two cohorts. Ladies and gentlemen, Q2 purchase rate is now 2,759 Bitcoin per day. That's a 70% increase, okay? And remember as well, only 450 are mined per day. This thing is being gobbled up like crazy, which is good for us. And that's why maybe at last we're seeing some good action. And remember as well, Bitcoin was under 75K but only a matter of weeks ago. And it's funny as well. Now Bitcoin price is 104,500. And somebody actually said to me, it's hilarious, my first ever YouTube video was about Bitcoin, and I guaranteed the price would exceed 103,000 by the year 2030. Now at the time of Bitcoin, the price was about $4,000. And I said, this thing is going to 103,000. And it was circulated. Very few people saw the video. About 10,000 people saw it. But it's what made my channel viral. But the people that saw it told me I was insane. Okay? I said, I guarantee you, pounded my fist on the table, this thing will be worth more than 103,000 by the year 2030. That's how I sandbag. It's the year 2025. It's 104,000, nearly 105,000, nearly hit 106,000 today. So bear that in mind when you look at some of these numbers too, as we go forward. But just somebody reminded me of that video and I completely forgot about it. But anyway, 5 years early is okay. Now, everybody is chasing this Bitcoin stuff, whatever the heck that is. These are just the companies. You can see here, you have these companies own over 700,000 Bitcoin now. Just this little list. This is not the 212 company treasuries that actually have Bitcoin right now. They're stacking like crazy. But just these companies, MicroStrategy, 568,000, which they made a big buy. Saylor will report a big buy tomorrow morning, and I'll report on that first thing. I actually stay up all night waiting to see what it is. Tether, over 100,000 Bitcoin. Tesla, 11,500. SpaceX, 8,300. What do Tesla and SpaceX know? Wonder. Anyway, the point is, a lot more are coming. And it's not just these companies, but other companies too. These are the ETFs that own a ton as well. The ETFs own over 1.3 million Bitcoin. So you add these two together, the ETFs with just those 7 treasury companies, that's over 2 million Bitcoin. Remember, there'll never be more than 15 million Bitcoin. And that is about to increase violently because Q2 is already 70% higher than Q1. And we've only just begun. It is absolutely insane. Anyway, let's get back to the actual question. I'll turn off my image again. Here are some price predictions. I shared this the other day, but I'll share it again because it's pertinent to this question. And this is from the so-called analysts out there, the smart money. And some of them are very conservative. But the expected value mean of all these targets is 278,700. That's a lot higher than my price target. I'm getting to a point here, so bear with me. If you take the Bitcoin at 103K, which is now higher because that was a few hours ago as 103K, my target is about 130K, 129K, give or take. And analysts are now 278,700. Tesla is now 350. It'll probably open at 340 tomorrow because of the fear about the US downgrade. And the IA target is, by the way, that doesn't impact Tesla at all by any stretch of the imagination. IA target is 500 to 650 by year end. And the analyst target is also 650 by year end. So we'll see where this goes. Now, if you put these together, and I include my targets, equal weighting with the analysts. So the target price for me for Bitcoin is 130, analysts 278, and my Tesla midpoint is 575, analyst target 650. You can see the upside for Bitcoin right now is 98.4%. If you take the weighted average of my target with the analysts, and Tesla is 75% upside. Again, the weighted target of both. So for now, for the first time in quite some time, Bitcoin is ahead. Very important. Now, if there is a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which on Polymarket is about a 30% chance it'll happen, if the US decides to try buy 1 million Bitcoin, all bets are off. Bitcoin's going to the moon straight away. These analyst targets of 278,000 will look small. But we don't know if that's going to happen, and that's the problem. Therefore, you need to allocate accordingly, according to those risk parameters. Now, if I rip out the analyst targets and just use mine, Bitcoin upside's 26%, Tesla upside 64%, and that's how I'm allocating, etc. as we go forward. The problem is I'm way heavier in proxies and Bitcoin than I am in Tesla, so I'm trying to fix that to make things happen. We'll talk a lot more about rotation as well. But I hope that helps and answers your question. That is the latest face-off between Bitcoin and Tesla. And they are the two, as I've said since I began this channel, the two alpha predators, apex predators that are out there in the world. And if you have Bitcoin derangement syndrome or Elon derangement syndrome, etc., it doesn't matter. My job is to find the safest, best risk reward assets out there for myself, and I share all I do too.